Welcome to a space where the world moves a little slower. From quiet morning walks to the scent of fresh bread and the rhythm of the needles. Let's find the beauty in the simple things together. Make yourself at home. Good morning everyone, welcome back to Quiet Space on Internet. I'm so glad you're here to spend some time with me today. Summer's gently rolling in, and with it, the garden is starting to give us its first real gifts. The rhubarb patch has truly taken off over the last few weeks. This morning I want to take a slow approach. We'll harvest some of these beautifully tart stalks and head inside to make a comforting rustic rhubarb pan dessert entirely from scratch. So take a deep breath, make yourself a warm drink, and let's spend the morning together. There's something incredibly grounded about gathering your own food. When you look closely at the base of these plants, you can see the vibrant reds and soft greens stretching upwards. Instead of cutting them, we want to respect the plant's natural growth. We hold a stalk near the bottom, give a gentle twist and pull. Perfect. That sound always feels like the official start of baking season. We want stalks that are sturdy and firm. The contrast of the deep red at the bottom fading into the bright green of the stalk is just art created by nature. Let's gather a few more. And off to the garden compost they go. So I'm inside now, ready to start the rhubarb pie filling. So I cut off the rough ends of the rhubarb stalks and then I cut them into small pieces so they'll be easily softened while I make the rhubarb compote. So to make the rhubarb compote, or to stew the rhubarbs, I put them in a large pot with a little bit of sugar and water, and then I'll bring it to the boil and let it simmer for at least 5 minutes. Those colours look amazing. So while the rhubarbs are stewing on the hob, I get ready to make the pie base. So I've got some flour mixed with salt, and I'm cutting up some cold butter to add into it. I find it easier to mix these cold butter cubes into the flour by hand, because you can easily feel when the butter is no longer cold or cubes, and in the end you should feel something like kinetic sand, which my children had when they were little, and it'll be like that powdery dry consistency. About that time is when you add a little bit cold water to bring it together to make a dough. You don't need a lot, so little by little is the way to go. So when it's a nice ball of dough, the best way to keep it so it'll be easier to roll it out later on is to wrap it in plastic and place it in the fridge for up to half an hour. I attempted to roll out this dough, it wasn't successful, it wasn't cold enough, and I didn't really have enough time. So I'm just adding it to the pie dish the way it is and using a small pie rolling pin to roll it out in the dish, and then use my fingers to press it into the corners, and it usually works out okay. And then I poke the base with a fork before it goes into the oven to pre-bake before I put the filling in. And while that's baking, I make the crumble topping that I like to put onto my pies. If I don't have time to make a proper nice looking pie top, I like to do a crumble topping. And I usually do equal parts butter, sugar, and then flour, oatmeal or oat mix. And that makes a really, really nice topping. I like to mix the crumble topping by hand as well. I find it's much quicker and easier to do that way. And if you look in front of my bowl, I had a bit of leftover from the pie crust, so I'm mixing that in to the crumble topping as well. Nothing wasted here. So the rhubarb stewed down, and you can still see some of these nice colours, but it's now really, really softened and it smells great. So the pie base is done, so I'm just putting the rhubarb mix in it here, and this was a perfect amount. I think I had about 600-700 grams of rhubarb. And this pie dish, I forgot to say, this is a pie dish my parents-in-law bought me in France quite a few years ago, and I've used this so much for different crumbles and pies. It's such a nice pie dish to put out on the table. As the rhubarb can be quite tart, I add a little bit of sugar on top of the mixture here. And then the crumble topping, I just sprinkle that across. And another little coating of sugar on top of the crumble topping, just so that will caramelize when you bake it in the oven. So crunchy and nice. And here is my first rhubarb pie of the season, ready to go in the oven. And here is ready out of the oven. It looks delicious and it smells wonderful. And I love having small items around me in my house. This cake, spade as we call it in Norwegian, is from my mum's house, and it brings back memories when I use things of hers, or the trivet that was my grandma's. And then warm rhubarb pie with a bit of vanilla ice cream. What could be better on a summer evening?